Hey, rock stars, are you ready to master the art of business development and finally achieve the results you've been chasing? Hi, I'm Kelly Kennedy, host of the Business Development Podcast, and I want to invite you to the Business Development Mastery Program, a transformative journey designed to help you level up, stand out, and succeed. This program goes beyond the basics. You'll learn how to craft marketing materials that sell, create ideal customer profiles, and build target lists that deliver results. But that's just the start. You'll also discover the secrets to personal branding so that you're not just another voice in the crowd, and learn how to use social media strategies to position yourself as a trusted expert in your field. It's about building relationships, driving action, and achieving measurable growth. The truth is, business development isn't guesswork, it's a system, and I'll show you how to make it work for you. Let's get started. Book your discovery call now at capitalbd.ca or connect with me directly on LinkedIn and send me a DM. Your next big win is waiting. Welcome to episode 231 of the Business Development Podcast. And today we're diving deep into a topic that every entrepreneur, leader, and high performer faces, but few truly master: fear. Fear is the invisible force that stops dreams before they start, holds back pitches, silences ideas, and keeps bold moves stuck in neutral. But what if fear wasn't your enemy? What if it was actually your greatest ally? In today's episode, we're going to unpack how to turn fear into fire, fuel for your growth, your leadership, and your business. We'll explore what fear really is, why it shows up, and how to face it head on so it stops running your show. Whether you're building your business, leading a team, or stepping into your next big move, this episode is for you. Stick with us. You don't want to miss it.
The great Mark Cuban once said, "Business happens over years and years. Value is measured in the total upside of a business relationship, not by how much you squeezed out in any one deal." And we couldn't agree more. This is the Business Development Podcast, based in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and broadcasting to the world. You'll get expert business development advice, tips, and experiences, and you'll hear interviews with business owners, CEOs, and business development reps. You'll get actionable advice on how to grow business. Brought to you by Capital Business Development, capitalbd.ca. Let's do it. Welcome to the Business Development Podcast. And now your expert host, Kelly Kennedy.
Hello, welcome to episode 231 of the Business Development Podcast. And today I wanted to spend some time chatting about something that affects all of us. Today we're talking all about fear. Fear is something that we all face in entrepreneurship, business development, every time we get on a plane, and many other aspects of our lives. First off, fear is the reason that humans have survived as a species. Fear is an emotional response to a perceived threat or danger. It is part of our survival system, designed to keep us safe. When our brain detects a potential threat, real or imagined, it activates the amygdala, which triggers the fight, flight, or freeze response. This floods the body with adrenaline and cortisol, heightens our senses, and prepares us to either confront or escape the danger. Fear has helped humans survive for thousands of years. It helped our ancestors avoid predators, navigate dangerous terrain, and make quick decisions under pressure. Even today, fear protects us, from crossing a street without looking to avoiding potentially dangerous situations or people. Fear, though, is a paradox in the modern world. It is both your ally and potentially your greatest obstacle, depending on how you respond to it. As an ally, fear alerts you to risks, shows you where growth lives, and forces presence. It sharpens instincts, keeps you humble, and helps you take things seriously. The fear before a call, a pitch, a talk, or your next big move, that can be fuel if you know how to use it. As an obstacle, fear freezes you. It makes you second guess, delay, overthink, and sometimes never take action at all. When fear drives your decisions, you trade potential for comfort and lose opportunities to become your best self, grow, and lead. One of the biggest lessons that I've learned from my entrepreneurship, coaching, and podcasting journey is that doing the hard thing, the uncomfortable thing, the scary thing provides my biggest personal leaps. Facing your fears is the rocket fuel to your success. Every time you face your fear and survive makes facing the next fear easier. When you look back on your life 20 to 30 years from now, you will not remember the life events that were handed to you on a silver platter. You will, however, remember the ones that you struggled for, bled for, faced your fears for. They are the moments that make life worth living. When you don't face your fears, you're not just avoiding discomfort. You're trading your potential for safety, and you're choosing the familiar over the extraordinary. Fear guards the door to everything you want. Growth, impact, success, fulfillment. If you don't face your fear, walk through that door. You never get to see how incredible, powerful, and brave you really are. You never learn what you are truly capable of. So if you're ready to take the steps into your best self, to face your fears, to become the rock star you were born to be, here are 10 steps that can help you turn your fear into fire. Number 1, you must name the fear. You cannot fight what you do not face. Is it the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of judgment, or even the fear of success? Shout it out. Fear loses power when you identify it. Number 2, you have to reframe it into a signal and not a stop sign. Fear means you're pushing your limits. Your best self lies on the other side of your self-limiting beliefs. Lean into the discomfort instead of retreating. Ask yourself, what is the opportunity here? I've talked about it many times on the show, guys. In my own life, I've learned that fear is the signal for areas that I have to focus on for my own growth. Before I started this show, I hadn't pushed my boundaries in a lot of ways. I knew a lot about business development, for instance, but I knew very, very little about podcast production, about audio production, about any of the equipment that I needed. I know many of you that have been with me from the beginning, you know the story of this, where I'd bought all of the equipment for this show, all of it. And it had sat in the corner of my bedroom for well over a month until Shelby told me to either do something with it or get rid of it. And that was the night that I went down and recorded, the trailer episode for the Business Development Podcast. But guys, the truth was, I was afraid. And I still get afraid. There are still moments on this show where, we're diving into video, we're doing clips, with Authentic Hustle, we're doing like a full video show where I feel very out of my element, where I definitely still feel fear or fear of the unknown, right? But here's the thing. Every single time that you take a step against the fear, you get stronger. And every time you face a fear, the next one gets easier to handle. Fear happens to all of us. We have to understand this. Every single one of us experiences fear. It's what do you do about it that counts. Number 3, we have to act fast before doubt catches up. Momentum kills fear. Make the call, send the email, pitch the proposal. Action defeats overthinking every time. I've talked about this plenty of times on the show, guys. Cold calls, emails, getting in touch, active marketing, probably the most powerful thing that you can start doing for your business today. If you're currently not calling prospects, introducing your company, sending direct emails, attaching your brochures, reaching out to people who don't know who you are, 100%. If you start doing that, it's going to have a major impact on your business. But what's the thing that holds so many people back? It's fear. It's fear of failure. It's fear of rejection. But the funny thing is, really, it's not something to be afraid of at all. It's your lizard brain. It's your amygdala saying fight or flight, fight or flight. But really, in this modern day, this modern world, there's nothing that can happen to you. Cold call goes bad, no big deal. Make another one. Email doesn't get received well, great. Send another one because the next one might be. Like, we live in this time where there's almost like nothing bad that can happen, but we're still relying on this, lizard brain in our heads, right? Understand that your fears are likely unfounded. There's likely nothing bad that can happen from them. Remember that. Pick up the phone, make the calls, watch. I'm right. You are going to do just fine. And yeah, you might screw up a few calls, but guess what? After about 5, 6, you end up in a cold call cadence. And after a week or two of making them, it'll be like second nature to you and you will no longer be afraid of them. But understand, it happens to every single one of us. The path forward is always to push your fear. Once you take action, the rest gets easier. Number 4, use fear to prepare, not paralyze. Let fear drive smart planning, not perfectionism. Prepare enough to be confident, but not so much that you never launch. Look, nothing is ever going to go 100% to plan. Nothing is ever going to go 100% perfect. Action trumps perfection 9 times out of 10. One of the most powerful tools that any entrepreneur or small business has is the ability to take action relatively quickly. When you think about it from the standpoint of a large-scale business, nothing happens fast in a large-scale business. Many decisions have to happen, then it has to be implemented across many branches. None of this goes quick. None of these decisions are made quickly. As a young entrepreneur, a small to medium-sized business, one of the most powerful tools you have in your toolbox is the ability to make a decision and take action on it quickly. 9 times out of 10, taking the action, even if it doesn't go exactly to plan, is going to be more powerful for you and your organization than not taking action at all. You only fail if you do nothing. 9 times out of 10, taking action is the secret to success. So don't be afraid to push those limits. Don't be afraid to push your fears and see what happens. Don't be afraid to try that thing, because that thing might propel your business to the next level you could have never seen coming. Don't be afraid to take action. Action counters fear. Number 5, stack proof over panic. List your wins. Track your progress. When fear says you can't, show it the receipts, okay? Listen, we're going to talk a little bit about imposter syndrome because I feel like we can't do this episode without chatting about imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome, you only feel like an imposter until you do the thing. Look, we have it whenever we get a new job. We have it whenever we're asked to take on a new task. I faced imposter syndrome in this show. I talk about it. Episode 3 was almost the end of the show because I was like, what am I doing? Who am I to show up and talk about business development? Well, it turns out 231 episodes later, I'm the right person to talk about it. It took facing my fears of saying, am I good enough? Facing my fear of inadequacy, facing my fear of not being able to produce a show like this, facing my fear of the unknown. But so much of imposter syndrome is you can only be an imposter for so long, no matter what it is, no matter what you take on. Because once you do the thing that your body is telling you you're an imposter for enough times, it can no longer call you an imposter, especially if you're succeeding at it, especially if you're killing it. How can you be an imposter at something that you're good at? So understand that imposter syndrome happens to all of us, and it is temporary. The secret to overcoming it is to face the fears and stack up the receipts. Because at the end of the day, if time after time after time, you're proving to yourself that you are not only capable, you're doing great. Eventually, you wake up one day and you are no longer an imposter. You embody the new version of you. Number 6, visualize the win and not the loss, okay? Stop obsessing over what can go wrong and start vividly imagining what happens when it all goes right. Guys, it is incredibly rare that the whole thing goes wrong, whether it's a speech, whether it's launching your own podcast, whether it's starting your business. Like, it doesn't all go wrong all that often. The fear of like somebody calling you out. I think I've said it on this show. I think I've had like 2 people ever negatively comment on the show. And it wasn't even a negative comment to me. One was like, I didn't like a guest you had. And it's like, okay, whatever. And the other one was, your intros are too long. And so we made adjustments. Like, understand the thing that you're afraid of, this fear of criticism, this fear that like the world is going to hate you. It's just not founded. It's not founded in any truth. It's founded in imaginary fear. It's founded in a fight or flight response from a million years ago. We are not fighting saber-toothed tigers in business, okay? We're not. And this fear that we have, this like overwhelming fear, it is unfounded. Understand that. The fears that you face to be public, the fears that you face to be bigger than who you are today, the fear that you face to take that next big jump, whether that's starting your own company, whether that's asking for a raise, whether that's trying to get the next big position at your company, they are mostly unfounded fears. If you challenge them, if you apply for the position, if you start the company, if you make that jump, I think you're going to find it's easier than you could have ever imagined. And it was the self-limiting beliefs that you impose on yourself. Not your fault. Understand that. Not your fault. We all face them. They're literally fears from a time past, a long time past. And so what I've realized in my position here, with the podcast, with capital business development, with any type of business development I'm doing, nothing is off limits. Nothing is off limits because any limitations we have are mostly self-imposed. And every time you challenge that, every time you take on that self-imposition and say, you know what? I need to check the credibility. I need to fact check this because I don't think it's right. I think you're going to find most of the time it was nothing to fear at all. So much of our fear is us. It's us, guys. It has nothing to do with the world. And if we can realize that and start to overcome those fears, the sky is the limit. There's nothing you can't accomplish. Number 7, borrow courage from the future you. I want you to picture yourself 5 years from now, confident, successful, fearless. Maybe you have that position you want. Maybe you're the CEO of your own big company. Maybe you have a world-leading podcast in your space. Incredible. Now, turn to that person. You can be that person today. You can make a choice to embody that courage, to be fearless, to take on those challenges, to be your future self today. And I want you to ask yourself, what would they do? And take action in the same way. Listen, you can become whoever you want to be. If you want to be successful, if you want to be the CEO of your own business, if you want to have a world-leading podcast, YouTube channel, whatever it is, you can do it. Mark my words, you can do it. Be that person today. Embody that confidence today. Take action today. And you will be that person 5 years from now. Number 8, speak your fear out loud. Say it out loud to a coach, to a mentor, to a friend. Let me tell you, as a coach, if you come to me and you say, Kelly, I'm afraid to make the calls. Incredible. Tell me that. And I will give you 15 reasons why you don't have to be afraid. But if you never speak your fear out loud, nobody can address it for you, not even you. If you are afraid of something, so basically if you're human, because we're all afraid of things, speak your fears out loud. Say it out loud to a coach, a mentor, a friend. Fear hates oxygen, and speaking it out loud makes it weaker every single time you do it. So today, go to the mirror and just say it to yourself. What are you afraid of? Make a habit of this, and I bet you crush it. Number 9, face your fears head on. Fear fades with familiarity. Let me repeat that. Fear fades with familiarity. Do the hard thing enough times, and you make the discomfortable comfortable. This is exactly what I meant when I was chatting about imposter syndrome. You can only be an imposter for so many times. But once you've done the scary thing once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, once you have done it repeatedly and you were successful at it, it didn't go badly, you didn't die, life was great. Eventually, you can't be afraid of it. You can't be afraid of something that you're killing it. You can't be an imposter at something that you're absolutely crushing. Understand that. The secret to overcoming your fear is to face it head on. And, let me just tell you, I get it. I know how scary that is. I know how scary that is because I still have fears. I have fears of public speaking. I have fears of showing up on the podcast. I have fears of making a mistake publicly. I have a lot of fears, but you know what? Here's the thing. I realize that I can't let them hold me back because a better version, the best version of Kelly is on the other side of those fears. And if I want to continue to move forward, if I want to be a good role model for my kids, for my friends, for my family, I have to show up and I have to push those fears no matter how scared I am of them. And so that is the secret, guys. Just show up, face that fear. You can only be afraid of it so many times, especially if you've faced it and succeeded, faced it and succeeded, faced it and thrived. Eventually, it just becomes comfortable. We should all strive to make the uncomfortable comfortable because that is the secret to growth. You don't grow in the comfort. You grow in the discomfort. The things you will remember 30 years from today are not the comfortable things that were handed to you on a silver platter. They're the things that you had to fight for, bled for, nearly died for. Those are the things that make life worth living. You want to live a meaningful life? Face your fears every chance you get. And number 10, make fear part of the game plan. In entrepreneurship, business development, and life, fear is normal. Fear is completely normal. Expect it, plan for it, and most of all, win with it. Now, what about the times when your lizard brain takes over? I have a funny story for you guys. I used to really struggle with anxiety and fear in job interviews, right? I remember going to job interviews, sweating bullets, shaking, guys. I used to shake at job interviews. It freaked me out. I call these moments the moments when the lizard brain takes over. And how can we beat that fight or flight response in the moment? Let's say that you're on stage. Let's say that you're giving a big proposal. Let's say that someone called on you to stand up in front of somebody and you are immediately going into fight or flight response. Maybe you are having that crazy anxious response. You just start sweating. You start shaking. You can't talk. I remember giving a speech in front of my college after I graduated. And I kid you not, I was shaking, stumbling my words. It was absolutely brutal. I wish I knew then what I know now. And I'm going to share with you 3 things you can do in the crazy lizard brain moments to help you overcome it and get back in control. Number 1, control your breathing. Your breath is the kill switch for panic. The next time you're freaking out, try this. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for 4 seconds and then exhale for 6 seconds. 4, 4, 6. Repeat this 3 times. It signals safety to your nervous system and calms down the amygdala instantly. It will put you back in control. Number 2, label what is happening. Say it out loud or in your head. Tell yourself, this is fear. It is not danger. Just naming the emotion recruits your prefrontal cortex, the rational part of your brain, and puts you back in the driver's seat. Number 3, move with purpose. Fear wants you either frozen or moving. Beat it with deliberate action. Stand tall, step forward, ask the question, start the pitch. Movement rewires the brain from threat to momentum. Remember, guys, being human means feeling fear. It means making mistakes. It means stumbling and even falling forward. Sometimes unsure, sometimes afraid. But growth does not ask for perfection. It asks for courage. And courage is not the absence of fear. It's being afraid, maybe terrified, and choosing to move forward anyway. So if you're scared, good. It means you're human. It means you're alive, and it means you care. Most of all, it means you're on the edge of something incredible. Feel the fear, face it, embrace it. Your best self isn't hiding behind comfort. It's waiting for you on the other side. The references for today's show, guys, was Stephen Pressfield, The War of Art, Elizabeth Gilbert, Big Magic, Seth Godin, The Practice, Brene Brown, Daring Greatly, Tim Ferriss, Fear Setting TED Talk, Mel Robbins, The 5-Second Rule, Daniel Goleman, Emotional Intelligence, and Amy Cuddy, Presence. And if you enjoyed today's show, please do follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Come hang out with us on LinkedIn at the Business Development Podcast, or me, Kelly Kennedy. Submit any questions you have regarding business development, entrepreneurship to podcast@capitalbd.ca. We will address it on a future show. And of course, last but not least, if you are in business development, if your responsibility is to grow your organization or you have a team, I would absolutely love to work with you guys. Feel free to reach out and see if coaching might be a good fit. You can do that directly on LinkedIn, or you can check out my website, capitalbd.ca. Shout outs this week: Gary Noseworthy, Vijayan Swaminathan, Susan Paseka, Eric Portillo, Colin Harms, Rodney Lover, Abe Duick, Joe Hall, Jillian Schecker, Lauren Graff, Rudy A. Zacharias, Mike Hayes, Tony Gray, Aaron Haberman, Aaron Hurst, Tyler Bentley, Jesus Aroyev, Alianette Cassiano, Isa Montalvo, Vidhi Toshniwal, Oliver Ramirez, Cruz Gamboa, Shannon Smith, Jason Chakalakal, and Nate Simpson. Until next time, you've been listening to the Business Development Podcast, and we will catch you on the flip side.
This has been the Business Development Podcast with Kelly Kennedy. Kelly has 15 years in sales and business development experience within the Alberta oil and gas industry and founded his own business development firm in 2020. His passion and his specialization is in customer relationship generation and business development. The show is brought to you by Capital Business Development, your business development specialists. For more, we invite you to the website at www.capitalbd.ca. See you next time on the Business Development Podcast.
Hey, rock stars, are you ready to master the art of business development and finally achieve the results you've been chasing? Hi, I'm Kelly Kennedy, host of the Business Development Podcast, and I want to invite you to the Business Development Mastery Program, a transformative journey designed to help you level up, stand out, and succeed. This program goes beyond the basics. You'll learn how to craft marketing materials that sell, create ideal customer profiles, and build target lists that deliver results. But that's just the start. You'll also discover the secrets to personal branding so that you're not just another voice in the crowd, and learn how to use social media strategies to position yourself as a trusted expert in your field. It's about building relationships, driving action, and achieving measurable growth. The truth is, business development isn't guesswork, it's a system, and I'll show you how to make it work for you. Let's get started. Book your discovery call now at capitalbd.ca or connect with me directly on LinkedIn and send me a DM. Your next big win is waiting.